Today, our speaker is Kate Honchar. She's a Java developer at Evolveum. Her expertise covers the areas of Java, software development, and identity management. During the development of midPoint 4.9, her primary focus was on the certifications feature. So I would like to thank you for now and enjoy the presentation.
Hello, my name is Katarina Honchar. I'm a Java developer in Evolveum. And today I would like to welcome you on our webinar, which is dedicated to the access certification feature in midPoint. We will get in touch with the new user interface and with the configuration, which can be applied to improve using of this feature. So let me notify that during the webinar, I will work with midPoint version 4.9.1 snapshot. So all the presented functionality will be available starting from 4.9.1. So today we will have an overview of the access certification feature. Then we will talk about the new interface and configuration possibilities to make the interface more appropriate for your project. And the entire presentation will be accompanied by a feature demo. So let's start with the overview of the access certification feature. midPoint access certification feature is a tool for ensuring that user access rights remain relevant, minimizing security risks, and maintaining compliance. This feature automates the process of regularly reviewing and validating user access rights, and it helps to identify and to address the potential security risks such as, for example, unnecessary access rights or outdated permissions. midPoint provides a wide range of the configuration for the certification campaigns definition, and to learn more about them, please follow the link to the documentation. Let's have an overview of the configuration for the access certification definition. So, campaign definition includes scope definition, where we can define which objects in the midpoint we would like to review, for example, users or roles. We can define the target objects of the campaign, for example, should we review the objects of the role type or any others. It also includes a stages definition where we can set the duration of the stage, we can set the reviewers or outcome strategy. Also, there is a new part for configuring, and it is certification items view configuration, where we can specify how our items view should look like. And also, definition can contain remediation definition, so we can define if the remediation should start automatically or not. And finally, reiteration definition, so we can define how often our campaign should run. Now let's have a look at the access certification in action. So let's switch to the demo. I have already prepared 2 campaigns, but before we start with it, I would like to make a short overview of the organizational structure. So as we can see, there are several departments in our organization. One of them is security officers. Security officers are granted with the right to overview and to audit other user access rights. For example, let's have a look at the Angel user and at his assignments. So as we can see, this user has 2 auditor roles, but let's assume that this user goes to change the department. So, for example, we will remove the membership in security officers department, and we will add the membership in the sales department. We will save. And now we see that the user has disappeared from security officers department, and he has appeared here in sales department, but still he has a set of assignments as before. So he still has these auditor roles. So there are a lot of situations which require access right reviewing, and changing the department is one of them. So let's say we have defined access certification campaign, which is dedicated to review users' access rights. So the first campaign should serve for it. So it should review all non-critical user assignments. Non-critical means that the target object of the assignment has not critical risk level. So if we can switch to the roles for a while and we look at our auditor roles, then we will see that they have high risk level, but not critical. So let's return back to the certification campaigns. So I have already created the campaign, but it's not started. And as we can see, campaign is presented in such box panel where we can see the most important information about this campaign. We can see the name of the campaign, its description. We have the information about the stage or about the iteration, and also we have here some progress. At the moment, we have no progress. So let's start the campaign. As we can see, the task was created to start this campaign, and the progress is displayed on this panel, so we can even navigate to the task, and we can return back. Just a second. So we need to wait the task to be finished. In a meanwhile, we can look at the campaign details page. So we see that a set of cases was created for this campaign. We see some statistics about the responses for these cases and certification items. And at the moment, we see that all the items are not responsed. Also, let's have a look at the statistics panel. So we see that the first stage of this campaign has only one reviewer user, it's administrator user, and his progress is null at the moment. Also, on this panel, we see the related tasks panel. And let me check that task, or probably resolve it, resume it for now. Okay, so closed. Let's go back to the campaigns. Okay, so now we see that the campaign in the review stage, it's already in the first stage, and it has the deadline in 14 days. Let's have a look at the certification items view. We can reach certification items through active campaigns menu item. Here we also have our created campaign, and also we have some box panel with the information about the campaign. So let's view the items. So now we see our certification items view, and it's displayed in the default configuration. This means that we have the default set of columns, and the default set of actions here. But let's say we would like to customize this view. So I have prepared some configuration for it. So custom configuration for certification items view is located in the system configuration object in the access certification element. And here we see default view. So we define the identifier for our view, and we define the columns, for example. Our campaign is dedicated to review only user objects. Therefore, I would like to set a custom title for the object column for this one. So we know that this column will show only user objects. So I will change the title of the column to user. Then I would like to hide display name columns, because in our case, they are not informative, they are empty. So I will hide display name columns for objects, for target. Also, as you can see, I configure the columns right here using their identifier. And here I want to stop at the mechanism how we configure the columns for certification items view. So starting from midpoint 4.9, there is a new way to configure the columns for certification items view. Midpoint provides a set of the predefined columns and the predefined actions for certification items view. And we can reach these columns and actions by using their identifier. So in our example, I will use some of them, but if the list of all columns and actions you can find in our documentation. And here is the column which is configured with already existing mechanism. We configure it by path. So we would like to display the stage number, for example. As for actions, I have added certification item change decision action and certification item history action. And one more configuration option here is multi-select. If we look at our user interface again, we see that there is no checkbox in the header. In this way, midpoint secures the reviewing process, and midpoint forces the reviewer user to go step by step, item by item, selecting it, but it doesn't allow to select all items at once. But today I want to work with select all value here, so I would like to have the possibility to select all items at once. So let me apply this configuration. Just a second. Yeah. So let me apply this configuration and let's reload the page. So as we can see, the changes were applied. We have renamed object column. We have hidden display name columns. We have here also this stage custom column. And as I mentioned before, we have checkbox in the header. So I have the possibility to check all items at once. As for actions, let's have a look. So we have default accept and revoke actions, but here is our custom check responses. I can click here As you can see, there is a pop-up with some additional item information. So here we can additionally see description of the object and of the target. For now, there is no response, and we are waiting for the response from midPoint administrator using. We can make a decision right from here, but let's make some progress from our table. Let's have a look how it will impact. And I will revoke some items. Yeah. And now let's have a look at our Angel user, which has changed his department. So Angel, Pentello, okay. There is no, okay, he was already probably accepted or revoked by my action. So now we see him. Actually, we see that I have already revoked these two auditor roles for these users. And that is what we want. Because after he changed the department, he should not have the access to these two roles. Okay, as we can see, the progress of this campaign is displayed here at the top of the table. So we can see that already 21% of all items are already processed. Also, we can see some other information about this campaign, such as start date or deadline again, and again, stage number and iteration number. Let's return back to campaigns page. So here we can also see the progress of the campaign. We have some statistic about accepted items or revoked items. Also, we can view the details of the item here. And here we see the same pop-up informative panel. Let's have a look at the statistics panel. So now we see that our administrator reviewer user has a progress of 21%. Okay, so let's suppose that we have already made all the decisions within the first stage. I'm going to close this stage. And I will navigate to the task just to view the progress. Okay, the task is closed. So let's return back. Now we see that the first stage is closed and we would like to open the next stage. Again, waiting for the task to be finished. Okay, it's done. So now we can see that the panel for the second stage appeared. There are some other reviewers. Let me mention that the second stage is configured to be reviewed by the managers of the user. So we see here some reviewers, and let's have a look at the reviewers panel again. So we see that all reviewers have no progress for now. So let's relog into midPoint as sum of reviewers users, and let's view at the certification process from their point of view. So let's have a look. Yeah, as we can see on the dashboard page, there is a widget dedicated to the user's active campaigns. This widget shows the progress of the logged in user, And in case of several active campaigns, these campaigns will be displayed here as a list. So let's navigate to the items and let's make some decisions here. Okay, so let's accept something. Actually, I will use just some different users. Okay, Danielle is not here probably. And Elisa. Just a second, Anthony probably. Okay, so let me check my users. Let's say Olivia. Olivia is here and she has roles and she has password set. Okay, let's try with Olivia. Again, she has. Let's make some progress for her. Maybe I will show one more user. Well, hopefully this will log in. Yeah. Okay, so just some more progress for this user. And let's return back as administrator. Let's have a look again at the campaign details page, and I'm interested in the statistics panel right now. So as we can see, the progress of some reviewer users has changed. If you look at all of them, we see that some user has 100% progress, but actually we are not interested so much in this user, but we are interested in the users who have low progress. Therefore, we are showing the users from the lowest progress to the highest. Yeah, in this way, maybe we can somehow motivate our reviewers to finish this campaign. And let's say at that moment, we want to make a report for this campaign. So starting from midpoint 4.9, there is a possibility to create a report from the campaign details page. We use create report button, and midpoint proposes for us to select from two reports. One of them is for cases and the second is for work items. These reports are initial objects in the midpoint. So we would like to make, for example, cases report. Let's run it. Again, let's have a look at the task. And let's wait for it to be finished. Okay, let's return back. And I just would like to show you that there is a possibility to download the report just from the campaign details page. Okay, let's assume that we have finished all work with this campaign. So let me check once again the status of the Angel user. Angel, Dello, apply and show it. Okay. Probably he was already decided in this one. And revoke. Yeah. So, okay, so we would like to close this campaign, to close the stage at first, and then Okay, let's look at this task. It has been finished. And let's start the remediation. During the remediation process, the items which had revoke response will be resolved in that way that the assignments which were revoked will be unassigned. So let's go to our Angel user right now. So the remediation was closed already, was finished. And let's search for our Angel and let's review his roles. So as we can see, he has no auditor role anymore, which means that our remediation and our certification process run correctly and processed the certification also correctly. Okay, so we have finished this scenario with the first campaign. But as I have mentioned before, I have prepared the second one, which is called Review Critical Risk Level Assignments. So this campaign is dedicated to review only those assignments which have critical risk level. Let me show you. Let's have a look at our roles and let's search for risk level critical. So as we can see, there are 4 roles in the midpoint which have critical risk level. So we want to make a certification for this. Let's start the campaign again. Okay, the campaign was started and let's have a look at the certification items of this campaign. As we can see, this campaign has a deadline in 3 days, so we should make our decision quickly. Let's navigate to the certification items. As you can see, here we see the same set of the columns and the same set of actions which was configured before. Let me remind you that previously we were reviewing the configuration of the view which was located in the system configuration object. But let's assume that this campaign requires some other columns or actions. So starting with midpoint 4.9, there is a possibility to configure the view for certification items straight in the campaign definition. So let me show you. Here is my access certification definition object. And here I have defined the view configuration for this campaign. So again, view configuration from system configuration object will be applied globally to all campaigns, but this configuration will be applied only to those campaigns which are created from this definition. So here I define the identifier of the view. I use the same identifier as in the global configuration. And then I would like to hide response column and reviewers column. I don't need it here because I have only one reviewer administrator. And I would like to add editable comment column. Also, I would like to be sure that all the items in this campaign has risk level with critical value, so therefore a column which was configured with the help of expression. And here is some configuration for the actions for menu items. So critical assignments require some confirmation for accept action, and there is a possibility to configure such a confirmation panel. And I would like the users to comment their action. Therefore, I configured comment field, which is mandatory for the certification item accept action. And also I extended the actions with not decided answer, and I have hidden certification item history action. So let's apply this configuration and let's reload the page. So now we can see that we have custom column risk level here, which is critical for every certification item. And there is editable comment column, and we can add some comment right here. Accepted. And the comment is already here. It was already saved to this certification item. And let's have a look at the accept action here. When we click the button for accept, we can see this confirmation panel, which was configured. We can see that we need to put the comment here. Admin, for example. Yeah. So we can see that the comment was added and the decision was made. Find. Okay. Okay, now let's probably return back to the presentation and let me conclude what we saw in the demo. So on the campaigns list page, we saw the campaigns which were presented with informative box panels. And this new user interface allows to read better the state and the progress of the campaign. And still user has a possibility to switch to the table view if he wants. And also we saw that all campaign actions were processed within the tasks, which speeds up the work with this feature. On the campaign details page, we saw statistics about certification items, responses, and about reviewers' progress, and about remediated items. Probably I didn't show them, but let's have a look at them. So here we have the remediated item statistics as well on the details page. So new interface here also intended to give more clear and understandable information about the campaign. And also on the certification items view page, we saw the possibility to configure the view, and we can configure it either globally for all campaigns or for each campaign definition if needed. As you can see, the recent improvement of the access certification feature in midPoint made it more configurable, more flexible and informative, and more demonstrative. And hopefully you have enjoyed our webinar. And to stay in touch with midPoint, please follow us on our social media. And thank you for your time and for your attention.